It just blows my mind.
So you see the big painting down here? You see it's a mermaid? Right. When you get down below, the head's, it's like the mermaid's doing a back flip. And you got the long tail coming down. And the body's up, and the arms are actually down. So she's leaning up like this. Right, Cassandra. She did that one and she did the other mermaid. She said she's always been into mermaids.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. According to the clock behind me, it's 7 o'clock. We are currently live streaming on the address that you'll have to manually type in that's on the program, because I just couldn't figure out how to make it to where you can touch it and take you there. It's on the school YouTube. If you want to go back and watch it later, just check to see, and it will be there forever. YouTube has two sides to the whatever app. The live side and the not live side. So if you have somebody that's texting you, I can't get the live feed to work, tell them to make sure they click the live button or thing that will allow them to see it live, because it's trying to show them what videos are already up. You can always go back and look at it again. Hopefully tonight's performance will be worthy of watching again. And you'll just want to watch it every year as part of your Christmas tradition and add it to your video list of things to watch when you can't sleep Christmas Eve. So I want to welcome you and thank you for the support. These kids seeing the stands filled for their concerts means a lot to them. I want to go over a couple of housekeeping issues. Well, not really issues. You guys are good. But reminders, just so that we can remain to be good. Phones, Turning them off in a performance, those days are gone because they're now, like shoes. We just need them everywhere. So putting them on silent or in a mode that will not cause a ringer or a flash of light. You may be like, hey, I'm videoing this, and then what we see is your strobe lights go off. Can become distracting to the tam-tam player. She's very important tonight. She'll be one of the last things you hear when the high school band performs. We want to make sure she's not distracted with flashing lights. So those things are really appreciated. Of course, you're allowed to record this. We own the rights to all the music that we're playing. So there's no issues for that. You shouldn't get flagged on YouTube, but hey, you just never know, I guess. Anyway, first is going to be the beginning band, which, as for any of you who've been here, I mean, again, I've even stopped saying, wow, look how many former students are now parents, because it'd be more like I could say, wow, look at how many people aren't former students that are here, because there's so few of you. But the same show is what we always do, because it's not about what songs are they playing. Just a few months ago, these kids were just, I mean, this isn't a haircut. This is just what happens when you try and teach a group of kids how to go from zero and nothing, and trying to take the language and the vocab that they've learned from Mrs. Dunn at the elementary and all the teachers that have taught them, all the staff, and it all comes together in music, and you ask them, what's a measure? I don't know. How far is this? A foot? That's a measure. But measures are different in music. It's all the same. But to get them to go from nothing to the Christmas concert, it's quite a feat. Not necessarily on my part, but for these kids. They have to put in all the work to do what it is that we're about to show you. And these kids, one day I was bored because we get to this part of the year, and these kids usually get it going. And I'm like, I don't want to conduct it anymore. And so I played tuba with them. And they really liked it. And so they said that they would like it if I played tuba with them this year. And I said, I don't think that's something that I've ever done before. I've never played tuba with the beginning band. So I'm not going to be conducting because pretty much everybody here has seen that. So you don't need to see that side of me again. We'll look at something different this year on tuba. After that, we're going to have a really quick change up to pull these kids out, pull all of that massive block of students over to here, get set up, get a couple tuning notes, and then two of the songs it should strike some heartstrings and make you feel Christmassy. The third one, that seems to be everybody's favorite. So we're punching in a couple little surprises through here. Once that is done and the Tam Tam has finished doing her thing, we will then have one more transition. The high school band will then re-immerse into that, and we'll pull out the choir to close our program with a couple familiar songs, possibly sang in a little slightly non-traditional way. So I'm not going to take any questions because I think I've talked too long. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show. As per usual, I like crowd participation, so if you know the words to these songs, we'd love to hear you singing to us. If not, that's okay. Hey, we're qualified to judge. If you don't know the words, just do what we're doing when we start to sing, okay? Okay. Because we're friends on Facebook, that makes him my bestie, I guess. That's how that works now. The composer of this piece of music, if you have been coming for the last 3 Christmas concerts, I'm going to give you a little backstory on him, just so you kind of understand what's getting ready to happen. He decided he's a composer, former band director, and he's kind of caught some traction with writing some of his songs, and he said, I'm going to write a Christmas song. And all of his colleagues and his mentors said, you're a clown. Don't do it. It's going to be white noise. There's too much. Don't do it. Well, of course, he didn't listen, because sometimes we're a bit stubborn, and he wrote it anyway. And of course, I think he mentioned earlier in the year that this has been one of his biggest money producers of any songs that he's written. So he wrote it in a trilogy. So the last 2 Christmases, we have been playing Santa the Barbarian. And this is the final installment of Santa the Barbarian, and how Santa's gotten a little cocky, being the big guy that he is, and how big and brute that he is, and decides there's just too much of this spring and summer stuff going on, so we're just going to go try and wreck the world and make it Christmas all the time. And you'll hear in the music that, they really try, but we all know really what happens. Spring will always win out at the end. But this composer, like I said, we're besties because we're friends on Facebook. I do know that if you're any Wyandotte people, the former Wyandotte band director, Mrs. Rose, works for him as a composer, and so we have ties. I'm trying to get him to come up here, and from what I understand, it's pretty promising since he just lives across the state line in Arkansas. And so maybe the next time you hear us play from Randall Standridge, you'll actually get to watch him conduct him, because he just has a way of writing for the kids that they can get it. It's not too hard, and when you listen to it, you're just not sure what just happened, except that it was really cool. All these new sounds that you're going to hear that you didn't know your children knew how to do on their instruments. And on Monday, if I would have had any hair, it would have fallen out again, because of what this group sounded like on Monday. I mean, you can tell that I was the opposite of kind of happy. So, but they pulled it together, and I'm very pleased to present to you Santa the Barbarian, Episode 3, The Snowpocalypse, narrated by Kyle France.
The world was now green, for spring had arrived, and everywhere flora and fauna now thrive. No winter eternal was what he had planned, and blizzards and storms were his command. So he gathered his reindeer and he gathered his ships. Along comes Santa the Barbarian with the Snowpocalypse. Spring to summer and finally to fall. Smash away, smash away, smash away.
Personal thanks to all of your kind words on Facebook and personally and emails and phone calls and all the things that you've done, telling us about the parades and how you've enjoyed it. The overall consensus from everybody that knows me and all those people that know me that I don't know who they are, and they said there's something different about when you guys come down the street. It's like you're just the music. You're not doing the thing where you're playing in a band. You're just, here comes the music. The kids are feeling it and in it. That's the little things. We spend a lot of time of them going, "Will you please shut up and quit telling us about the X factor in music? Let's just play the notes and rhythms." And I keep telling them, it's more than just the notes on the page. You've got to get into the music. And so that means a lot to us and to me that you guys confirm that the hard work of trying to be more than just notes and rhythms and feet and lines and stuff going on the parade, that people say, "Man, we know when Commerce is 3 blocks away. We can hear you. We don't care what other bands are there. We don't care how big they are, what they sound like. There's something different about you kids." And that means a lot to us. So if you didn't get to hear us in the parades, here we go. All right, give us just a second to switch out. Band, come on back up here, choir. When we are finished with the choir portion, I want to invite all of you who have not yet taken some time to look at our talent and art students' works for this winter. Some pretty neat, unique stuff up there that they put together. Cassidy Parkin to the front, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the bright smiles from the Commerce High School and Middle School choir. over the crowd. Interesting thing in gymnasiums, if the crowd can be still, then the magic of the reverb can make an experience for you. If the crowd is not quiet, then we get the same response on the floor from you. We get to experience what you're doing because it echoes down to here. And these girls have worked too hard for me to have to adjust the volume as much as I just had to so that they could hear, but you could still hear them. So I ask you, you're going to really like this last one because they really like this last one. So I'm going to ask you all to please simply scuffing your feet from side to side, reverbs onto the floor, and then they can't hear things. And this next song, I think you might be leaving with a big smile on your face. So if you're smiling too big, please don't drool on the artwork when you look at it when we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grinch is a mean. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our presentation for a program for Christmas this year. Please look at the artwork that the kids have brought out for you to look at before you leave. Merry Christmas to you all, and I'll see you next time.
tasteful